Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the low-price leading brands reliable advice place. The Frigidaire Gallery Dream Kitchen Get Yours Today place. You with me? Right now, get huge savings on select Frigidaire Gallery appliances and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months at the hometown low price think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Tired of waiting and waiting and waiting just to see how the weather will be tomorrow? First Alert No Wait Weather with Austin Reed has you covered. Get tomorrow's forecast and the 5-day outlook in less than a minute and at a convenient time. Weeknights between 6 and 10 p.m. only on KVHF 4, KVBC 13, KPID 31, and VTV Fresno. First Alert No Wait Weather, brought to you exclusively by the Ventura Broadcasting Company.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
Hi, I'm John Mallos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. I'm so glad you're with us here on a Thursday morning. Hey, we got a sponsor today. His name is Chuck McGill. That's right, of McGill, Guzman, McGill. We thank him for that. As far as the program goes, well, we're going to talk about the fishing industry with our expert from the Fresno Bee. He's been here before. What a good guy. 436 Meet TV, option 11. Back in just a moment. So glad you're back with us here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno on a Thursday morning. Glad to have you here. Got somebody in the house from the Fresno Bee for the second time this week. That's right, the retiring George Hostetter was here on Monday. But we've got a guy in the studio who still works at the Fresno Bee. As a matter of fact, you can catch his articles each and every Wednesday in the sports section. We'll talk about that. Yesterday's article, I believe, was about how much these lures cost. We'll talk about the fishing industry, and they cost a fortune, my friends. I hope if you go fishing that you actually win the lottery, and then you'll be able to afford the lures, because, I mean, they're outrageously expensive to a certain extent, at least from what I read in the Fresno Bee yesterday. Anyway, a good Game 2 in the World Series last night as the Kansas City Royals mopped up on the Mets, so they lead the series 2-0 as the series heads back to Citi Field in New York tomorrow night. So they'll play games 3, 4, and 5 in the Big Apple on the island of Queens. Well, it's not quite an island, but it's on the borough of Queens. Anyway, Johnny Cueto, a masterpiece of a pitching performance last night for the Kansas City Royals. Okay, time to remind you that tomorrow's program is a special Halloween edition. We're going to have the people in from Hobbs Grove in the studio tomorrow. That's right, Halloween is on Saturday. It's on a weekend this year. It'll be quite fascinating, and actually, you'll turn your clocks back this coming weekend. You'll get 1 hour of extra sleep this coming Saturday. But don't wait until 2 in the morning. You know, don't set your alarm at 2 in the morning and then wake up and turn your clock back. Just do it before you go to bed, or do it early in the afternoon like I do. Anyway, time to remind you that you're watching us each and every Monday through Friday live on Comcast, channel 375, or as many people like to call it now, Xfinity 375. If you don't have Comcast cable, hey, my friends, it's okay. You won't be penalized. No. You won't get a notice in the mail. It's over-the-air broadcast free of charge. 43.6, 13.1. The replay comes later in the day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. 13.6 YouTube. 4.6 Biz TV at 8 o'clock at night, so you can watch the replay of my show at 8 o'clock while you're watching Thursday Night Football, and we all hope and root against the Patriots here on Connect with Me. Anyway, the Twitter account has not changed, at John Mallows, MeTV. So the weather forecast, well, it is starting to get cooler. As you know, at night, it's much easier to sleep at night. You turn all the fans off, turn the air off, and open up the doors if you can. If you got that screen door, you got that little breeze coming through. With the latest update on the weather, here's our guy Austin Reed from the Justice Network.
Yeah, John, thank you so much. Austin Reed here in the First Alert No Wait Weather Center on this Thursday. Hey, we're getting closer to the weekend now. Halloween is on Saturday. Yesterday, we woke up to some rain. Did you notice that? And last night, we saw some shower activity across the Central Valley. Hey, your forecast for this Thursday, the 29th of October. We are going to be in the low 70s once again today. The sunshine, however, is going to come back. That's some good news. Your low tonight in the low 50s. Humidity, a very humid day. We're going to be right around 67, 68%. Coming up tonight in No Wait Weather, I will have your weekend forecast, your Halloween forecast. Plus, a look at some viewer photos of the day. That's tonight. For now, we're in the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Austin Reed. John, back to you. Have a great day, everybody.
I like that backlighting there on Austin Reed. Did you catch that? The backlighting? It looked like he was reporting from Hobbs Grove there for Halloween. I don't know what's up. What was up with that? little special effects just for you, the viewers here at Connect with Me, my friends. Halloween is out this weekend, and so the ghosts and goblins will be out. By the way, that graphic shows you that every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock you can catch Austin on the Justice Network and the latest weather news and other news and tidbits and whatever the case may be. Be safe out there when you go trick-or-treating with your kids on Saturday. That is for sure. Okay, time to talk about last night's big debate. If you were not watching Game 2 of the World Series from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, maybe you were watching the debate, or maybe you were watching NBA basketball with the Sacramento Kings and the LA Clippers. I don't know. But if you were watching the debate on MSNBC, you watched all the cast of characters that were there on the Republican side. It was the Republican debates, Republicans going at it again, of course. Ben Carson has taken over the lead in Iowa over Donald Trump. We'll see how he does nationally, though. Very mild and soft-spoken Ben Carson took on Donald Trump, as did Marco Rubio and Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey. Here's how it all went down last night in another showdown between Republicans.
My record was one of cutting taxes each and every year. You don't have to guess about it because I actually have a record.
Senator Rubio, you yourself have said that you've had issues. You have a lack of bookkeeping skills. You accidentally intermingled campaign money with your personal money. It raises the question whether you have the maturity and the wisdom to leave a $17 trillion economy. What do you say?
I didn't inherit any money. My dad was a bartender, my mother was a maid. They worked hard to provide us the chance at a better life. They didn't save enough money for us to go to school. I had to work my way through school. I had to borrow money to go to school. Try early in my marriage explaining to my wife why someone named Sally Mae was taking $1,000 out of our bank account every month.
Super PACs are a disaster. They're a scam. They cause dishonesty. And you better get rid of them because they are causing a lot of bad decisions to be made by some very good people. And I'm not blaming these folks, but I guess I could.
You know, the Democrats have the ultimate super PAC. It's called the mainstream media. Who every single day.
If you saw that blimp that got cut loose from Maryland today, it's a perfect example of government. I mean, what we had was something the government made, basically a bag of gas that cut loose, destroyed everything in its path, left thousands of people powerless, but they couldn't get rid of it because we had too much money invested in it, so we had to keep it. That is our government today. We saw it in the blimp. I love Donald Trump. He is a good man. I'm wearing a Trump tie tonight. Get over that one, okay? Let me tell you, Donald Trump would be a better president every day of the week and twice on Sunday rather than Hillary. I've spent a lifetime in politics fighting the Clinton machine.
Are we really talking about getting government involved in fantasy football? We have, wait a second, we have $19 trillion in debt. We have people out of work. We have ISIS and Al-Qaeda attacking us. And we're talking about fantasy football? Can we stop?
You know, it doesn't get too much better than that. You'd think, well, here's another Republican debate. Who's going to watch it? But, boy, I tell you what, it was must-see TV. These candidates going right at each other and always entertaining when Donald Trump, Mike Huckabee, Chris Christie, Jeb Bush. You know, they should make a reality show out of this. It really is very entertaining, and I look forward to the next debate and when Dennis Hart comes back on the program to talk about politics. And, by the way, on Monday, our guy Charles C. Johnson, the internet journalist, will be here to talk about the presidential run for Donald Trump and all the rest on the Republican side and what's going on with Hillary and, of course, on the Democratic side. All right, time to get to the main course. It's our program today. The focus, of course, on, well, not only the weather, but the water, but the fish industry. I want to roll the videotape of Millerton Lake. We've seen this video before. Still, as many times as I have seen it, it is incredibly shocking, to say the least, my friends. This is Millerton Lake. You are looking at a drone shot. 34% capacity right now, according to the Fresno Bee, for Millerton Lake. It has been dwindling in size in recent years because of the ongoing drought, now in the 4th year, as have all the lakes around the Central Valley and California. They've been dwindling as well. It has affected the fishing industry in a huge, huge way. We've documented that on this program with Roger George, of course, in past shows with our fishing trips. Front page of the Fresno Bee today, the Chinook salmon, a step closer to extinction. Only about half made it out to the sea this year compared to last year. That would be about 217,000. The Bee reports that some of those salmon appeared to have baked to death along the banks of the Sacramento River. Live in our studio right now to talk about this and much more, maybe the drought and the impact on the fishing industry, is our fishing expert, our guy Roger George. He writes a column, an article each and every Wednesday. You can catch it in the sports section of the Fresno Bee. Outstanding article this week, by the way. You should catch it online if you don't get the paper. 436 MeTV option 11. Hey, not too many people that I know, if there is anybody in the Central Valley, I don't know where they are, that knows more about the fishing industry than our guest today, Roger George, an amazing man. Back with our program here in just a moment.
Have you or a loved one recently been arrested for a serious crime? Is your professional reputation at risk? Aggressive representation from a qualified defense attorney can help you avoid conviction and keep your reputation untarnished.
Hi, I'm Charles McGill, and I'll fight for your rights. With extensive experience in successfully defending against a wide range of criminal offenses and high-profile cases, you can rest assured that you'll get the fair trial you deserve from McGill, Guzman McGill. Call us at 559-255-3425 or visit us online at toplawyersfresno.com.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to digital channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV guide.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. I'm glad you're here. Glad we touched on a lot of things in the monologue, of course, the weather, the World Series a little bit, an interesting World Series. I like watching the Mets and the Royals. A very interesting Game 2 last night with Johnny Cueto on the mound. And then, of course, that debate. And we're back to our main topic now, talking about the fishing industry as a whole. I'm not sure, though, Roger George, that we can top that debate from last night. That was very interesting.
You know, John, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to join. I'm going to join the race under the fishing platform. I think it may be a little bit late, you know, in the season to do that, but the fishing platform, I think, would carry the day. I really think that you would be amazed how many fishermen out there would support that kind of a platform.
Let
More
me ask
fish.
You, if you could come back reincarnated who would you come back as? Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, Carly Fiorina? Who would it be?
You know, I guess it would have to be Trump. If I was reincarnated, I guess it would be Trump. He has a lot of fun. He has a lot of fun. So I like his personality from just a standpoint of he's a fun guy, and I don't think he takes himself too seriously. So sometimes I enjoy that. And there's other people, obviously, in the race that I like too. But I shouldn't say that.
I like
too.
the scowl, the Trump scowl. I wish we could put a picture up of Trump. I love that. What is it, like a triple chin?
You mean like this?
No, you and I can't do it.
No,
it's not.
no.
It's just we cannot mimic the Trump scowl. You know, he's got like a triple chin. He's got the hair. He's got the he's scowling like he could just kill someone. But I think you're right. He doesn't take himself too seriously at all.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a debate rolling behind us from last night. But it's really amazing to watch. It's a lot of fun. Hey, I'll tell you another thing that's a lot of fun is talking about the drought and the water. And we've talked about water on this program. Oh, there's Trump.
Hey,
not exactly a scowl, but a typical fashion. Look at that, the typical Trump expression.
He looks like he just lost a monster fish. That's probably, that'd be, oh my gosh, I just got away.
He's probably saying to himself right there, where is Roger George when I need him?
When it comes to the big one, we need to work together here. It's a team.
We got to make those salmon succumb. Anyway, all right. Before we get to any of the video that we have here today, I just want to ask you straight out, Fresno Bee, and we all love the Bee. You write a column in the Bee every Wednesday.
I do.
In the sports section.
Yep.
Great story yesterday. But look at today's front page of the Insight, talking about the Chinook salmon being a step closer to extinction. I know you read the article. Yeah. Just get your general comments about that.
Once again, we have an editorial here that's taken great liberty, I believe, to.
Is this an editorial, pretty much?
I don't know. That is not an editorial. Excuse me, I used the wrong word. It's a piece that I think.
It's an article.
It's an article that where they've used journalistic license to make it a good headline.
What bothers you about it? Be specific if you can.
Well, they're catching fish. I'm doing reports on the fish that they're catching, the salmon up in Sacramento. The fish are moving through. They're catching fish, so they're not down to nothing. And it's going kind of a step too far to say that they're near extinction.
Right.
We have a water issue going on, and I think the real issue is that we didn't have a problem with a lot of this until we started having water issues and control of water issues. So I really think that we have to go look back at that. But what people don't understand is that this could all turn around, that Mother Nature is interesting in that whenever we have bad years, we have declining populations. But when we come back into good years, we can have populations that absolutely explode. And this is constant. We see that constantly.
Let me ask you about this before I get into the gritty details of this article. Is the drought to fish much like a pandemic would be to humans?
I don't know if it'd be sort of the same thing. It would be, the fish are running out of, their food is down. Water temperature can be obviously affecting them dramatically.
How so? Now, salmon, they need cold water,
They need cold water. And
why is that?
Well, they just happen to be a cold water fish in terms of what they need.
Yeah.
So they try to keep the water temperatures down below about 58 degrees from what I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on salmon. We don't, in this area, but I do a lot of research on it. But I think
you know a lot about everything, though.
Well, I try to keep up on it, but the salmon are definitely colder water, and the flow of water is really critical to keeping water cool and out of the bottom of dams. So they're trying to keep that going. But when you have warm water feeding into a reservoir that's low, you don't have the stratification of your water. You have a lot of warm water throughout the entire structure of the water column. And then what comes out the bottom is still warm.
Well, and that's throughout the whole ecosystem, right?
The whole ecosystem is warm. So you're not getting that cold snowpack coming down right now.
Understood. Got a call coming in. Hey, good morning, caller. Go ahead. You're on the air with our guy Roger George.
Let's see. I have an idea that if it's possible, from Sacramento it runs to Los Angeles. the open air that channel. What is that? A canal?
The California Aqueduct is what you're talking about.
Aqueduct.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is it possible? Because I hear that Texas got 8 inches in 8 hours. You know, we don't have 8 inches in 8 years. You know.
Right.
Is it possible that they can run along the freeways an aqueduct from Arizona, from Texas, from Colorado, from New York? I mean, just channel that water instead of go out to the ocean. We have the freeways, an open air, something aqueduct that could channel the water. If we can oil from Alaska to
I understand your thought. Let me tell you, one of the things that happens there is that people in different areas are extremely they want their water to stay right where they're at, and that's very territorial. And so you got water, you have a lot of water like up in Idaho. They would like to bring that water from Idaho down into Washington and some of the lower states, and the people in Idaho won't have anything to do with it. So the politics of water throughout the entire region is very integrated, and obviously in those areas, if you take water from those areas, then they feel that their fish and their livelihoods and habitat are dramatically affected. So it's a great idea, and we've talked about it, but it's something that politically is really a difficult thing.
Caller, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
I'm just listening to his response.
Yeah. Any other questions?
It's unfortunate they're so stingy. I mean, just you might as well share. If we're going to share oil.
Well, we agree, and we think that it would be wonderful if that could happen. But even Oregon has suffered from the drought, and so you'd have to bring the water down from up north from quite a ways. And like you say, from Texas, we got a long ways to come. So you get into all kinds of issues here, sort of like the oil pipeline from Canada. You got big distances and heavy logistics to be able to do that. So. I'm hoping that we get an El Nino effect here that will help us to at least get through this time frame.
All right. Are you satisfied there, caller?
Water. I think what he meant was stop watering the lawns. I mean, we have to have these trees. I live on Van Ness with the big Christmas trees in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And forget the lawns, but we need to preserve these trees. That's the oxygen that that we breathe. I mean, I see a lot of people that are just letting their trees die. It doesn't take that much to keep a tree alive, just a little bit. But the lawns, get rid of the lawns. But there's some historical trees here that I saw at the City Hall that they had to dynamite the hard pan on Van Ness here just to plant these trees.
They've lost, and just to echo your thought, one of the things that's happening is if you drive up into the mountains, if you drive to Yosemite, you will see hundreds of thousands of trees that are dying right now.
That's the California Aqueduct we're seeing.
And there's the California Aqueduct that takes the water.
Whose water is that? Does the feds own that water?
I think that the feds do. I think that's the deal. A lot of the water is so convoluted. I know, like in San Luis, that there's some that's federal and some that is state or city-owned.
Why can't the city of Fresno just use some of that water and say, look, we'll pay you for it?
Well, because somebody else bought it, and that's one of the other things that's been a big political hot potato is that we have people that are taking water and then turning around and selling it to L.A. I don't think that they should be able to, benefit from water in our area, but those things are happening. So a lot of our laws are just antiquated, and there's been a lot of articles about that. But unfortunately, until we change some of those laws, they're on the books, and we have senior water rights and all that.
It's too bad we can't take some of that water there out of that aqueduct, and like that caller that's, I don't know if he's still on the line or not. He is on the line. We can take some of that water and use it to water some of those trees along historic Van Ness Avenue.
Yeah.
It's because to lose some of those trees, what would that do to the ecosystem? I mean, not good.
No. This affects everything, but I don't know what to say because obviously this problem is very, you have a lot of different levels of things happening here.
We share oil, we can't share water. That just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah. Well, you know, once again, we have territorialism that's taken place in different areas where they do have water. So I think that right there politically kind of trumps a lot of the other situations.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, that's right.
Okay, trumps. All right, we're back with Roger George here, our fishing expert. We'll talk more about the salmon, and we'll get to the other reservoirs besides Millerton here on the program. Connect with me on MeTV Fresno. Today sponsored by Charles Chuck McGill. McGill, Guzman, McGill, the law firm that's been around, ooh, boy, a long time, more than 25 years. Back in a moment.
Have you or a loved one recently been arrested for a serious crime?
Is your professional reputation at risk?
Aggressive representation from a qualified defense attorney can help you avoid conviction and keep your reputation untarnished.
Hi, I'm Charles McGill, and I'll fight for your rights. With extensive experience in successfully defending against a wide range of criminal offenses and high-profile cases, you can rest assured that you'll get the fair trial you deserve from McGill, Guzman, McGill. Call us at 559-255-3425 or visit us online at toplawyersfresno.com.
Me? You got me?
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Sure sounds good.
With a lineup of classic television shows you remember.
I remember years later.
And shows you can discover for the very first time.
What a good stuff. There he is. To me?
You can watch MeTV Fresno on Xfinity 375 starting August 25th.
Are you going to watch me or ain't you?
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Tired of waiting and waiting and waiting just to see how the weather will be tomorrow? First Alert No Wait Weather with Austin Reed has you covered. Get tomorrow's forecast and the 5-day outlook in less than a minute and at a convenient time. Weeknights between 6 and 10 p.m. only on KVHF 4, KVBC 13, KPID 31, and MeTV Fresno. First Alert No Wait Weather, brought to you exclusively by the Ventura Broadcasting Company.
All right, the effects the drought is having on the ecosystem and the fishing industry. Caller, you're on with Roger George. We're short on time, so kind of tighten up your question, please. I'd appreciate it.
Yes. Let me ask you a real quick question now. Is there any way where they can, in the waste treatment plants, put filters where they can get the good water and send it back to the cities, you know, instead of wasting it, or either that, the farmers can use that water for irrigation? That's really my two questions, and I believe there is a way they can do that filter part as far as getting good water, returned to the cities.
Good. Okay.
My understanding on that is that, yeah, wastewater is, I mean, I think if you're talking about wastewater is what you're talking about. You know, I think that they're doing a lot. They don't talk about it a whole bunch, but I think that they're doing actually a pretty good job in the wastewater arena, because they know that that's one of the first things they can do. They have the asset already, in treatment plants, and they're able to, wring out the wastewater and, like you said, use it for a lot of the, for irrigating or whatever. So I think that your point is really a good one, and I think that they already are doing actually more than a lot of other things in that area.
Okay, Roger, quickly, just back to the salmon run here in the Fresno Bee. I just want to clarify, near extinction, according to the article, and it documents the last few years. I just want to read from page 2 here. It says the salmon run was 4.4 million that went out to sea in 2009, 2010 1.3, 2011 848,000, so it's dwindling, as you can see. 2012 went back up 1.4, 2013 went back up to 1.8 million, but last year 411,000 went out to sea. This year, so far, only 217,000. I just want to clarify, you disagree. They are the Chinook salmon, they are not near extinction.
No, like you see right there, you see the populations bounce around. There's several different issues.
It goes down and then it goes up again.
Yeah, they count the fish, but a a lot of times they miss, I mean, once again, they'll tell you that they miss a lot of fish. So that's number one. Number two is that, as you can see, the populations can rebound, go down slowly, go
Hang on,
up
caller.
quickly. So you can have situations where your populations change. And when there's water, it's amazing, but I've said it before, Mother Nature is amazing, that when you have more water and you have the right conditions, spawning takes place, and you can have an incredible explosion of fish. And it happens in a lot of our lakes around here too.
So the fact that those numbers were up, and then they went down, then they went up again, indicates, hey, they're not on the verge of extinction.
No, we've had 3 years of very warm water that's affecting them, there's no question. But it's a water issue. It's not that they're getting extinct, it's that they need we need
cold water,
They need
and
cold
they're not
water.
getting it.
They're not getting it, so it's not that they're going extinct. I think that's the point. People are kind of go, oh my gosh, we're gonna lose them. I don't see that as being the issue. I see here it's a water issue.
Yeah, it's too bad we can't just take a bucket of ice and dump it right there.
Really,
not possible.
And obviously the fishermen are really concerned about this, and I think that once again, we believe that with the right situation, they'll come back like they always have.
Yeah. All right. And the numbers indicate that.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
My point's
Caller?
made.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Okay. Caller, you're on the air with Roger George. Go ahead.
Thank you. My question is this. You were talking about, gray water and, wastewater treatment and all that. If it's not taken in 100% drinkable, then what would be the future side effects of using semi-treated water to irrigate crops and stuff like this that will turn right around and years later affect our children and our grandchildren?
My understanding, and I'm not an expert on wastewater, but my understanding is that they have been using wastewater for a long time, that our treatment plants and all that have certain standards that they have to abide by. And so this has been going on for a long time. I don't think it's a new issue at all. And I think that that's actually one of our lesser issues. So, and we haven't heard anything, actually, if you look at it, have we heard anything really from any of the health agencies or any watchdog agencies about that being an issue? So I think they've been doing okay there. And some of the guys I've talked to that are in the water district, actually one of the directors, they're telling me that they have pretty darn tight control on some of that stuff, and obviously they have to. So that's my short answer. I don't know a whole lot more beyond that, but good question.
Thank you very much, caller, for the insight. And there are regulations to wastewater. They've been using it for a long time, but that is a legitimate concern, I guess. And I can say to our viewers, I know it's Hollywood and it's made up, but you might want to go see the movie Martian, where the guy gets stuck on Mars and he's got to use everything is recycled. So check out that movie. But I don't know how realistic that would be in the real world. But anyway, recycled water is certainly an issue. I want to roll the videotape from Millerton Lake, Austin. Millerton Lake. Remember the drone shot we used in the monologue? And I want to ask you, Roger, about Millerton. 34% capacity. We can see these in the Bee almost every day, what the capacity is. Is Millerton about where you thought it would be at this time with no water?
It's actually a lot better than I thought it would be. And,
really?
Yes, I've talked quite a bit with the supervisor up there, Kent Gresham, and they have a low water level that they have. And they went right down to it here about a month and a half ago. Ooh. Then they actually brought some water in. It came down from Mammoth Pool. They brought it up about 15 feet, which people were surprised about after Memorial Day. And now the water level, they've been keeping it where it's actually about 10 feet above dead pool, what they call dead pool.
What is that?
That was about 160,000 acre feet, somewhere right in there.
Well, what does dead pool mean?
That's the bottom. That's as far as they go down. They won't go any farther than that.
Okay.
So, and that was the last ramp that you could put in, and that island right there is a good example of that right there. That picture is probably pretty darn close to just about the minimum that they'll allow it to go down. So,
yeah. And how's the fishing there right now?
There's actually some really good fishing. There's really good numbers of spotted bass that are out going, and right now the water temperatures have gone down. So what's happened is a lot of the fish have moved up on top. There's been a lot of pin shad that have spawned out, and so they're all over the place. So the little bass and all that are going crazy. A lot of small fish, but a lot of fish.
So if you're a boater, don't hesitate to go out to Millerton.
No, actually, it's in better shape than it was at Memorial Day. It's actually better shape right now than it was then. You have a little more capacity. So actually, this is a great time. We have good weather. The water temperature's not too terrible, and the lake, you have it to yourself.
Best time to go out?
It's going to be the middle of the day right now. I mean, we have a change coming on this weekend here. It's going to get cooler next week, but right now it's beautiful up there.
Yeah. What kind of fish are we talking about?
Spotted bass are the main thing up there that people are really focused on. A lot of the bass guys are catching them, but holy mackerel, you could put a worm on a bobber and just about throw it out there somewhere close to structure, and these little bass will eat you up because they're hungry. So from that perspective, it's a good bite. They're small. Stripers right now, not too much going on there, but the spotted bass up there are doing pretty good.
Hey, I want to put that graphic up. Can we get the graphic to put up what the status of the reservoirs are here in the valley? And that pretty much tells you right there. The Central Valley here in California, Millerton at 34, Shaver at 54, Pine Flat at 12, San Luis at 17. You and I went out to San Luis.
Right,
remember that fishing trip? Huntington at 31. Not surprising to you, I would imagine, right?
What's interesting is that the two here that are kind of key are really Millerton and San Luis, and those are actually in better shape than I thought they would be. San Luis at 17% is at 350,000 acre feet, so that's actually that's a good amount of water. It's not like down to the it's not down to a puddle. But San Luis and Millerton are kind of like Fort Apache. They're the last bastion. That's where your water, they're trying to hold it, and they've been doing a fairly good job of maintaining and keeping those lakes fairly stable. And so it's actually better shape than what I thought it would be, and they've actually done better, and the fishing's actually pretty good. Shaver has had phenomenal fishing, and it's still at 54%. Pine Flat's been okay. Huntington has been okay too. So overall, we're actually ahead of the game. I'm just hoping for a lot of water.
Why do they try to why is Millerton and San Luis the two where they try to maintain the status level, the status quo?
Well, if you look at it, Shaver, for example, it's in part of the chain coming all the way down.
Okay.
And Millerton is at the end of the chain, if you would, and everything from there goes out for irrigation. So there's not another holding area below Millerton. San Luis is the same thing. San Luis is a holding, and it's actually the largest off-river reservoir in the world. It's actually just a filling tank. The aqueduct from the delta comes in. The water is dumped in and taken out. So it's just a holding tank. No river feeds that body. So that's one they try to keep because they need it as a last resort to get down to LA.
Is that a good sign, though, that they're maintaining?
Yes, they've actually kind of changed. They've actually changed some of their tactics, and I haven't talked to DWR and those folks about what they're doing. They don't usually talk about it much, but they've changed some of their tactics as far as how they're holding, when they're releasing water, and there's some new things that they've done that I haven't seen in past years.
And is the fishing at San Luis about the same as it was when you and I?
The fishing's been good.
As good as it was when you and I were out there?
Yes, it's still been very good, and we never had any heat events where we might have had fish dying because of hot water and all that. We got past that this year. We have good populations of stripers over there. The water level's been stable right now.
Okay.
We should be in good shape.
All right. Roger George, our fishing expert, is here, and he's talking about the fishing industry. No one knows it better. You can read his article each and every Wednesday right here. This is Wednesday's sports section. Check it out in the Fresno Bee, and we'll talk about that in just a moment when we come back after this from McGill Guzman McGill. Charles McGill is our friend here at Connect With Me, a sponsor, and we'll be back in a moment.
Have you or a loved one recently been arrested for a serious crime?
Is your professional reputation at risk?
Aggressive representation from a qualified defense attorney can help you avoid conviction and keep your reputation untarnished.
Hi, I'm Charles McGill, and I'll fight for your rights. With extensive experience in successfully defending against a wide range of criminal offenses and high-profile cases, you can rest assured that you'll get the fair trial you deserve from McGill Guzman McGill. Call us at 559-255-3425 or visit us online at toplawyersfresno.com.
The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance. Enjoy generous-sized cooktops and saute or simmer with ease, while true convection ovens offer even baking and juicy roasting perfection. Foods stay their freshest in spacious refrigerators with convenient controls and clear filtered ice and water. Easy to clean surfaces reduce fingerprints, and the quietest of dishwashers makes cleanup a snap. The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
Tired of waiting and waiting and waiting just to see how the weather will be tomorrow? First Alert No Wait Weather with Austin Reed has you covered. Get tomorrow's forecast and the 5-day outlook in less than a minute and at a convenient time. Weeknights between 6 and 10 p.m. only on KVHF 4, KVDC 13, KPID 31, and BTV Fresno. First Alert No Wait Weather, brought to you exclusively by the Ventura Broadcasting Company.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Culp as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Have you or a loved one recently been arrested for a serious crime? Is your professional reputation at risk? Aggressive representation from a qualified defense attorney can help you avoid conviction and keep your reputation untarnished.
Hi, I'm Charles McGill, and I'll fight for your rights. With extensive experience in successfully defending against a wide range of criminal offenses and high-profile cases, you can rest assured that you'll get the fair trial you deserve from McGill Guzman McGill. Call us at 559-255-3425 or visit us online at toplawyersfresno.com.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. The Justice Network is seen here in Fresno and made possible by the Ventura Broadcasting Company. To see how law enforcement all across Central California are fighting crime, watch Local Choice with Austin Reed, where you'll see interviews and special reports with those who keep us safe every day. Local Choice with Austin Reed, daily on the Justice Network, Fresno, exclusively on KVBC Channel 13.5.
Back here on the program, the world of sports today. That's right. Hey, remember, Game 3 of the World Series takes place at Citi Field in Queens, New York, tomorrow night, and it should be quite a pitching matchup tomorrow night between the Mets and the Royals. Of course, the Royals lead the series 2-0, a blowout, thanks to well, the high-powered hitting offense of the Kansas City Royals last night. They're not a power-hitting team, but they're a contact team. And the pitching arm of Johnny Cueto, man, he put the screws to the Mets last night. He went the full 9 innings. Amazing in game number 2. Quite disappointing, as a matter of fact, because I'm pulling for the Mets. But who cares about that? We're talking about fishing. We're talking about another sport. And I want to take you out to the Roger George video. It's called the Monologue Roger George video out at San Luis, and it's when you and I were out there not long ago, and you were an official guide out there. Talk about that.
Well, I'm working on that type of official guide situation right now for San Luis with the state
You're not
parks.
there yet.
No, we're right now.
Okay.
We're just getting to that point, so we don't want to jump the gun too much on
Okay.
that. But anyhow,
But
I'm guiding out there, and they're letting me guide because of that situation. But anyhow, no, there we are. We're at San Luis right there. We're at Basalt Ramp. And the water was higher than it is currently. That ramp is way down in the dirt right now.
It is?
Yeah, it's way down in the dirt.
Look at me in my dumb-looking hat.
And
Look at that.
hey, you know what? That hat, that hat right there, I can handle that hat. It's the hat that we're going to see in just a minute.
You know who gave me that hat? Pat Hill, former football coach at Fresno State. at a charity golf tournament many years ago, and I kept it. There's the other dumb hat.
Now that hat right there, that's the one right there.
That's the one, baby.
That's the one right there. We had requests, could we possibly get more of those made, and I refused. I just absolutely refused.
No, I mean, that's a fashion statement right there. You can't beat that with a stick, Roger.
That should have Mets across the front of it. You said you're for the Mets. Maybe that's a Mets hat.
It could be.
I don't know.
It could be. I call them the Mets, the Mutts, whatever.
Well, you said about Kansas City. I was at the World Series last year. I do. My wife's a big baseball fan.
San Francisco or Kansas City?
We were in San Francisco.
Okay.
And it was interesting. Seats? We had good seats, but we had a guy that was a Kansas City guy that was about 4 down from us, and he was sitting in the section where there was 2,000 Giants fans, and he was going crazy. And he'd have been lynched if it hadn't been a policeman right behind him. So this year. The reason why they're off to such a start is they don't want to have happen to them what happened last year. I don't think.
Well, I heard an interesting stat today that the Kansas City Royals in the last 2 years in World Series games, they are 5-1 without Madison Bumgarner. You like that stat?
I like that stat. I think that's a good one.
Beautiful,
I love it. Yes.
Hey, so are you a tour guide at Millerton yet, or?
I'm guiding. You're
at guiding
Millerton.
out there at Millerton and at San Louis.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it becomes official when?
Well,
and
it
how
should
does it
be
become
here.
official?
Well, what's happening is that the state. Well, no, I'm dealing with the Bureau of Reclamation, who handles the dams, and then the state of California. So it's a new thing that they're doing, and they want to do it because they're concerned about liability for people that are out there guiding that don't have
background check and all
everything.
That.
I mean,
everything.
it's extreme. It's extreme, and anyhow, that should happen, and should happen here fairly soon. So anyhow, there's no official word on that. I can't say that, but we're getting there.
It's a high honor, though.
That they asked me to do that was I'm very pleased that they asked me, but we got to get this done first. So.
Yeah. Okay. Roll the videotape. Let's go with Huntington Lake. I want to show Huntington Lake out there, and you can talk about what's going on at Huntington, because we showed the water levels earlier in that graphic. Here's some video that we pulled of Huntington. You can see how low it is. Look at how low that is. Isn't that
is that Shaver right there? Okay.
Is that Shaver?
I was going to say that looks to me.
Okay, keep that video there.
It's so hard to tell. Okay, that's Shaver because of that. But that was when it was really down at low pool. Is that a recent one? Just
fairly recent. It's fairly recent, so it's kind of low. Is this the same video? We're keeping this video. That's Shaver Lake. Okay, I misspoke there. But Shaver Lake. Talk about what's happening there.
Well, what they did this year is they planted fish in there after they had drained it, and then what happened is that this year the hatchery down at Friant, the water got too hot. So what they did was in order to keep the fish from dying, they transported a whole bunch of them up here to Shaver and dumped them in, and the fishing has been absolutely.
Is that what Shaver looks like? That low? That low?
I believe so, and I haven't been up there, so you got me on that, but I believe that is Shaver.
That is low.
Because it has the marina there.
That is low. That is very low. Yep. And so fishing, not all that great?
No, Shaver the fishing's been spectacular because they put fish in there this year. They put trophy fish in, but then, like I said, when the hatchery had to get rid of the fish because the water was too warm, they brought up all kinds of fish, put them in here, and the fishing has been spectacular. And it's gone on far beyond what normally it does this time of year.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so with the drought situation, of course, now in the 4th year, let me ask you a question about El Nino, because the National Weather Service is going to appear on this program here in the next few weeks or so. They're predicting an El Nino year, not only for this year, but possibly maybe for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
How is that going to affect the fishing industry as a whole?
They need it very badly. The whole industry, it's vertical, from the standpoint of it starts with the fish and the water and goes all the way down. And, how people feel about their fishing is really important, whether they'll get their boat serviced, whether they're going to buy a boat, whether they're going to buy fishing equipment. All those things are it's a pyramid that has a huge impact for everybody that's even related to that type of an industry. So all your sporting goods stores are impacted. Anybody that sells anything to do with marine accessories, all your marinas are affected dramatically. Your little towns like Shaver are affected dramatically. No, what's going to happen is if we see that, we will see a resurgence of a lot of things. I think that we'll see a lot of fisheries can respond really quickly. And I think you can see that like in Shaver, for example, even though they plan to fish in there, like the smallmouth will come back very, very quickly. People underestimate what Mother Nature can do. You put water in an area, put a few fish, and they will expand to fill that reservoir.
Are there any areas, Roger, that are in danger of flooding because of an El Nino, a potential of that?
You know, Millerton is obviously, you know, once again, you're down at the bottom of the whole sequence of different dams coming down. And so if we have a lot of water, one of the things that would be really funny is that here we are trying to prepare to save water, but if we had more water than what we expected, that would be going over the dam and out to the ocean. We have no mechanism
way of saving it
right now, and this is something I've even written about. Is that, you know, we need to be planning to have something that could store some extra water. And I say that small earthen dams would be a quick, easy, cheap way to do that.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk more with Roger George. Our last break here on Connect with Me, sponsored by McGill Guzman McGill. Chuck McGill, the longtime attorney here in the city of Fresno.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to digital channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV guide.
Have you or a loved one recently been arrested for a serious crime?
Is your professional reputation at risk?
Aggressive representation from a qualified defense attorney can help you avoid conviction and keep your reputation untarnished.
Hi, I'm Charles McGill, and I'll fight for your rights. With extensive experience in successfully defending against a wide range of criminal offenses and high-profile cases, you can rest assured that you'll get the fair trial you deserve from McGill Guzman McGill. Call us at 559-255-3425 or visit us online at toplawyersfresno.com.
Back here on the program, our last segment, 436 Me TV Option 11. We're going to throw a question in here real quick. Let's go to the Pine Flat video there, and one of the hardest hit areas, right?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I was talking about Pine Flat being one of the harder hit because it has, when it goes down, it gets down to a point where they bring it down pretty low. And that water gets warmer. The trout in there are affected dramatically. Pine Flat for the last numbers of years has really had it's been a difficult lake. It's been up and down, and because the water levels have been fluctuating, and they have water come in and water go out.
But why does it seem to be more unstable than some of the others?
Well, I think they have a different level that they bring it down to that's lower relative to the lake than what they do for some of the other lakes. So it can be a difficult. The lake
lake to manage?
It seems like the fish are affected more at Pine Flat than some of the other lakes. And I think that it just gets down so low that it's affected. We've got some people here that are catching some bass off the shoreline right there, and that's great. And the bass fishing, the bass can handle a warmer water temperature than what the trout can.
Or even the salmon, obviously.
By far, yeah. You know, your bass can live in some pretty darn warm water. So anyhow, Pine Flat just has been difficult and been low, and it's been difficult to fish.
And it just seems like it's maybe, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm just asking, kind of a hard lake maybe to manage in terms of water levels?
They seem like they have a lower low level than relative to the lake than what like Millerton does. It just seems like it's managed a little differently.
And in that portion of the lake, it doesn't even look like a lake. It looks like a river to a certain extent.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. You know, Pine Flat is a Corps of Engineer lake, and Millerton is a state lake. So there's different. They run them a little bit differently on how they manage them, and. You know, I don't want the guys at the lakes to get mad at me, but you know, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
But it's just a different agency running it.
Yeah, it just seems like Pine Flat has been more affected than what Millerton has been, just by the way things are.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to one last piece of videotape, and I believe it's Huntington Lake. We got Huntington. Okay, not Shaver, but Huntington. Let's take a look at Huntington Lake, and you can talk, Roger. There it is, right there. I think is that Huntington? Is that Huntington?
I think that's Shaver
That's
again.
Shaver again,
but
Austin. So I don't know what the deal is.
You know
there.
what? Let me just talk about Huntington here while
Okay.
you're looking at that, because Huntington's way down. You know, Huntington, the big thing at Huntington is that it has been so doggone low. And, you know, but interestingly
Let me just
enough.
ask you, do we have Huntington, yes or no? This is it
Okay,
here?
they say that is okay.
Is that Huntington there?
I can't personally, you know, I can't tell. I haven't been up to Huntington this
All right,
year.
go ahead.
So, and some
Sorry.
of these are so down so far that unless I see this as a marina or something, I can't tell. But
Right.
this may be whatever it is. But you know, Huntington actually has had some pretty decent fishing up there. It's been kind of one of those undercover
Really?
deals that guys have been doing well. But you've had stable water up there. They've kind of kept it, you know, at a certain level, and so it's maintained itself. You know, Shaver has been where everybody's going because the fishing has been spectacular. But Huntington is kind of a sleeper up by the dam area and all that. Guys with power bait and fishing, all that have done well. So Huntington, yeah, it's down pretty darn low.
Yeah, it is.
But you know, it's still holding, and there's still fishing there, and it's still a lake that if we get some water, it'll pop right back.
Okay. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds. I want to put that graphic back up of the reservoirs and where they are in terms of capacity of water. Where would you recommend, before we go, Roger, what would you recommend to our viewers if they want to go out fishing? Which one?
Well,
Pick
you know,
one.
if you were going to, you know, there's no question that Shaver would be where I would send somebody in a
Okay.
heartbeat.
All
Shaver, we've got a lot of fish in there. You can see 54%. They're holding it. The bite has been really good. There's big fish up there. You know, guys are just doing real well. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. Shaver's number one. Number two, I'd probably say Millerton, just because the bite, they're not big fish, but the bass up there are just eating everything up, and there's a lot of them, and the lake's pretty stable right now.
Okay, so you're talking Shaver 1 and Millerton number 2. Gosh, we sure appreciate your time, and we get the El Nino. We gotta have you back to you know, ask you about what the effects are on not only the ecosystem, but just the fish overall. And I guess that's part of the ecosystem. But I mean,
That'll be an interesting conversation, because when we have water inputs, a lot of interesting things happen.
it changes it's a game changer.
It's a game changer on many levels, you know. So the fish, what they do, how they react, what they feed on, where they hang out, all those things are all impacted.
You know, it's interesting. You know, they say that animals like dogs and cats can almost predict, just by their attitude, whether or not an earthquake is coming, whether a flood is coming. So pay attention to your dogs and cats.
Well, I was just going to tell you that one of the things I was going to tell you about El
Serious.
Nino that's happened, that's telling us that it's really here, is that the different fish off the coast are going crazy right now. Big fish that normally never come up to like Monterey, like bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna. These are fish that are typically tropical only, are up here now, and they're catching them like sailfish up as far as Monterey. This
So what the
crazy
fish
stuff.
are doing is kind of an indication of what an El Nino could be on the way.
It takes very warm water for these fish to come up. You never ever see them. So that's a really
Good
amazing.
indication. All right, got to go, out of time. Don't want to get cut off. Roger George, always good to see you.
Hey, thank you, John.
You know you're a friend of the show. We love you here. Back tomorrow with another edition of Connect with Me. It's Hobbs Grove and Halloween, a special program tomorrow coming your way. Have a great day.